Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of 24/7 420. I'm your host, Musashi, and we have another host here, Bobcat.
Hey, how's it going?
And today we are with Quest Chains. And I'm not even going to start to explain anything about that. I'm just going to go right into who we have as our guest today, the creators of Quest Chains. We have VidVid and we have Dan Ram. VidVid, if you don't mind introducing yourself first, and then Dan Ram, you can do the same.
Hi, I'm mainly a front-end developer and I make music and sometimes I paint and I really like plants, food. That's me.
Nice. Dan Ram, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Dan. I'm a developer primarily, I guess. I'm also an artist. I do some realistic portraits and stuff. I don't play music, but I love listening to music. And I love traveling, meeting new people. That's me. And building new stuff. Of
Yeah.
course.
Well, welcome to the podcast, both of you. I've already
Thank
found
you.
a couple
you.
things that we have in common that I didn't know, even though we've worked together for a long time.
Yeah, which ones are that? Do you paint as well?
I am not a painter, though I love the arts and I support painters as much as I can, but I'm a big foodie.
Oh.
I love to grow my own food, so I love plants. I love
Oh.
to travel. I've been nomadic for over 15 years and just love building up permacultural communities and intentional communities. So, yeah, I love all that stuff.
Awesome.
Bobcat's also big into that stuff.
Yes, very much so.
Bobcat, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before we move on?
All right, I'm Bobcat, big into permaculture. I've been building my own cabin on my property for the last several years. I have 55 acres in Alabama and gotten big into Web3. I've got a background in crypto and I was a civil engineer for 15 years. So also land development. So I want to mix the two, Web3 and land development, and do something a little different. So we're going to do some Web3 in the woods. So
Yeah, buddy.
Do it.
Got a chance to see that cabin this morning on a video, and it was pretty cool. Almost done. It looks pretty awesome. Did a lot of good work there.
yeah, thank you.
So, Dan, VidVid, tell us a little bit about Quest Chains. What is it? Why did you decide to build it?
Okay, sure. So Questions, we brand it as a gamified onboarding and learning platform, but already today we started talking about maybe we should rename it gamified knowledge sharing protocol or something like that. It was actually Pete's idea because at the core of the app there is always some kind of knowledge that you either need to acquire or that you are sharing. So we're still not completely sure whether it's knowledge acquiring or knowledge sharing or knowledge something else protocol. But it is a protocol because it has set rules and it has an SDK which you can use to integrate the system into other apps. But what the system actually is, a mechanism that enables the creation of quests which are bundled up in a chain, and those quests you can complete. If you complete all of the quests of a single quest chain, then you are eligible to mint an NFT. So our platform enables both creation and completion of quest chains. This is it in a nutshell.
Very cool.
It started off in metagame. Like there was a lot of issues onboarding new people. People wanted to work, but we don't know what their skill set was. We didn't know a set of things that they can do to prove it to us. It was very manual for each person coming in. It's mostly like, okay, introduce yourself. Okay, can you do this? Can you do that? Etc. And then so we wanted to maybe give it a structure. So then we built the internal questing system, and that was there for a while but wasn't being used. And then Wit came in, he basically revamped it. And it was Web 2. It was a Web 2 questing system basically. He revamped it and he made it work, and it was great. And I think it was some hackathon. I don't know what hackathon this was. It probably Git Global. And then Wit hit me up and he's like, "This is hackathon. Let's build something. And I have this idea. Let's do this." Okay. And I was like, okay. It's like just 2 days. We have 2 days this weekend. We're gonna build something. Okay. And we just got in. We just came up with this idea. We wrote the contracts, we built the UI. Petty designed the whole thing. Much of the color scheme that you see, it's still that comes from those 2 days. Like so we built everything, we submitted, and from there we are here. Like it grew up so much from those 2 days. We never expected that. At least I never expected that it would take so many people would be interested in this, and we'll continue to build on this. So now we have a decentralized gaming and learning platform or protocol.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I know in not only metagame, but in meta builders in MSG, one of the sub guilds of Avagachi, all these DAOs that I'm working in, we were all kind of trying to come up with our own kind of gamified questing system for the same reasons, like, what are you skilled at? And everyone will say, yeah, I can do that, but no one really proves that they can do it until you find out later and they already got paid for something that was really junky. So yeah, once you all came out with Quest Chains, I was just like, yes, I don't have to figure out how to build this or find someone to build this. This is exactly what I need. I can build my quests the way I want. If some contributors coming into our DAO who want to work are not skilled enough, like say they don't pass our first quest and start to get paid bounties in our DAO, well, then we send them down another quest where they can get educated and we can level their skills up to a level where they can start getting paid for the bounties. So, man, you all have built a phenomenal product already. It's already pretty robust. And it seems like every time I think of something that I kind of need or want, you all are already on the track of already creating it or have already started implementing it. So with Quest Chains right now, so you spent a few days building the basic structure, and then over the course of a few months now since it's been out. Is that right?
I think it's been about half a year, something like that, even more, I think. We
Yeah.
built it in April, I think, or even March. I'm not sure.
Well, that's very cool to see how much you've done already. What are some of the new things that you're working on that you're going to be implementing soon?
Just today, I merged the PR for unlockable Quest Chains. What that means is you can basically make a chain of questions, if you may. Like you complete one question, it unlocks a new question for you. I mean, that's one thing you can do. Another thing is, okay, you hold a certain amount of ERC20 tokens, like a DAO tokens, then you can attempt these questions. I mean, basically now the possibilities are endless. It's up to you how you want to define how you want to unlock it. It could just be like a contract call on any some other contract, just some read call, or it could be a write call also. You could pay a certain amount of tokens to attempt the question. Anything is possible. We've made it so that it's basically general or generic in that sense.
Very cool. So we've got built-in whitelisting. So like basically like token gating. That's with ERC20s, but technically we have token gating with NFTs too because of these soulbound. Oh, that's another thing we didn't mention. These are soulbound. What is a soulbound NFT? What does that mean and why?
You just cannot trade it. And the reason for it is that when you acquire certain knowledge, it's only you who acquire it. And the proof of it is this NFT that you acquire at the end of the course. So it does make sense to enable trading of that. Yeah, that's the plain, simple reason.
What are some of the implementations of Quest Chains that you've seen so far from the random community who has come in to test and try it out?
Yeah, it's mostly about proving a certain skill set. That's the major use case so far. Give some proof saying you have certain skill set, like you can perform basic tasks, which is required for a skill set. For example, you're a builder or a developer, you need some things. You're a designer, you need some certain different kind of skill set. And so you submit proof for that and it gets reviewed by the Quest Chain creators. That gives you a badge, like a soulbound token, which certifies that you have that skill. That's the major use case so far we've seen.
Very cool. Yeah, I know my first Quest Chain that I made, I decided to just do a kind of a PR test and kind of like point people to Infinity Keys. If anybody listening to this doesn't know about Infinity Keys, go to infinitykeys.io and check it out. If you like puzzles and riddles and to have fun, go check it out. Or go to Quest Chains and find Musashi's Meander, and it'll start sending you down that path. And so I tested it just to see, hey, if I drop this link in just a couple friendly Discord channels, will some of those friends come in and play with it? And will it point people into Infinity Keys? And yeah, it did. People have fun with this, not only the Quest Chains, but combining other protocols that are doing similar fun stuff. And that's one thing I love about this. It's not just about us trying to figure out who's got the skills, who doesn't have the skills, who can work with us, who can't. But it's about making it fun. I want to go down every single quest chain and try to accomplish all of them because this is fun to me. Not just to show that I can do this or I have skill, but like I love gaming. You know, like life is a game. You know, the fact that you all are building out Game B, great video on YouTube. Go check out Game B. I just appreciate and love that you all are building these types of tools. Bobcat, I kind of have a question for you. When you think about quest chains, do you think about any ideas or implementations for this that might be useful for you or for any DAOs that you're working with?
I actually started my first quest chain the other day for Crypto Mindset Reset, which is a event we're going to have in December, which is a 2-day online summit for basically privacy, NFTs, wallets, basically just trying to give people a crypto reset to the way the markets have been going with all the rug pulls and all the bad projects, just trying to educate people. So we're going to have a treasure hunt as part of that. So I started a chain quest. Got to get my artwork together. Yeah, I'm looking forward to building that out. Also, when we do our farm project, I'd like to use it for like verification of people's skills for different things, maybe unlock different assets on the farm that they can use. Miss Sasha and I have been talking about different things.
Yeah, man, those are all really fun. And like few people are even thinking about it, but you're like myself, initially you're like, how can I connect this to in real world products and services, not just skills, but like, yeah, you're using it as PR work. Like, hey, like let's connect these communities together, get some attention here or there. Yeah, it's a robust platform in that there are a lot of use cases that have not even been touched or thought about yet that I can't wait to see roll out as the technology also gets further robust. So I guess I'm going to kind of ask Dan and Vid two different questions. Dan, I'll ask you first. What are some future iterations that you're either working on or haven't started working on, but you're thinking about it that you'd like to build on top of quest chains or add on to it?
One thing we've been talking about is an XP system. I think I'll let Vid talk about that because I think he's pioneering that. Another thing I have been thinking about is not having to come onto our platform to do this. Like build a Discord bot, because most of the work happens on Discord. Most of the people you meet and the quests you want to do, it's be very easy if you can take up these quests on Discord itself. So a way to basically attempt these quests and whatever, submit your proofs and review everything on Discord, so you don't have to leave Discord. That's something I've been thinking about. We haven't started on it though, but we have so much to build upon. Like we have a Notion doc that just says ideas for the future, and it's 2-3 pages long. And every week we just keep adding to it.
Yeah, you all have quite a list to get through it, I think. Vid, I see, we kind of talked about it a little bit. There are a lot of ways that quest chains can be used. What would you love to see in the future? And this can be as expansive as you wish. What would you love to see quest chains being used for or utilized? Or what spaces would you like to see it utilized in?
Okay, it really depends on how far into the future, but let's say, for example, in the near future, I think it would be really nice if it accomplished what we originally aimed questions to accomplish. So it would be really nice if a lot of DAOs would pick up the system and create a nice right amount of onboarding quests that everyone who joins the DAO would have to go through. And with some recent changes to the contract and to the UI, some of the changes are still merged or not fully implemented or not implemented at all in the UI. We aim to make some of the quests either optional or they won't require a review of a person. So this would be really useful in the case where the DAO has a lot of a big influx of new members and there's just not enough space or time to review everything. So yeah, this would be super nice. But then in the future, Pete had a really nice idea yesterday, which we talked about today in the weekly meeting with questions. And funny enough, also my mother had a really similar idea. So he suggested that questions could become a platform for peer-to-peer reviewing of facts or knowledge. So it could maybe in some variations develop into a platform which would enable just that like growth of a database of knowledge, something like Wikipedia but with web3 implications, and like at the core of it supposed to be gamified. It's supposed to reward NFTs which you can play around with different kinds of token gating. And like Dan said before, we are thinking about implementing an XP system which adds yet another layer to already huge playground that we are currently playing in. So yeah, something like a gamified Wikipedia / course platform. I'd really like this app to develop into.
Very cool. Really excited for the future of Quest Chains. Also excited to see what implementations might come about that we haven't even thought of. That I think is sometimes the coolest thing is you build something, these different intentions in mind, and then you give it to the community and they go crazy with it, and you see all these different things that you hadn't even thought of that they're like, oh, you can use this for this. Oh, you can use this for this. I know one thing I'll be doing in the future is I'm going to be making some mini games to go with quest chains. So each quest you'll actually drop right into a game. So I'd like to eventually maybe integrate quest chains into the game rather than the game into quest chains. So maybe we'll have kind of a cross collaboration thing where that can be a viable, fun product there.
This was actually one of the things which, I mean, one of the ideas before we started making the roadmap for the upcoming couple of months. So I contacted Atlantis World because they also were building their own questing system. So we were building the SDK about the same time. They have built something on their own and they are using it in game now. So yeah, I think we were kind of too late for that, but they're also using it for like quests inside of a game. Applications of this will be probably quite possible once we enable the quests that don't need any review or like optional quests. The reviewing part will just not be there. It's gonna feel more like game-like because the reviewing process will be automatic. Or yeah, I'm actually talking about another type of quests which will have a multiple choice answer, for example. This will require no middleman, no reviewer, but will feel more like an automated quest, something like you would make. Something like you would experience in an actual game.
That's very cool. Yeah. Multiple choice answers, automated reviews, batch reviews, things like that. Those are all super useful, especially for some of these creators who are, maybe eventually will be managing a lot of quest chains down the road. These creators may be creating quest chains for so many communities and so many different parts of communities that, yeah, this will be kind of necessary for them to actually be able to manage all of that at once.
We'll have to have a quest master.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Dungeons and Dragons, you have a master of ceremonies, if you will. I'm going to start this question with Bobcat just because I like to ask everyone this type of question towards the end. My brother's dog's getting frisky. Sorry.
So
Wants to go run around. So, Bobcat, what's the most exciting thing for you right now in Web3? This doesn't have to be directly connected to quest chains per se, but I just like to ask everyone what they're most excited about Web3 right now.
I mean, my biggest thing about Web3 is the people. So far, all the people in Web3 have been great. I like meeting people in real life. I'm about to go to Miami next week to like 4 different events and just networking. So that's what I'm focused on. And then, of course, building stuff in real life and then attaching it to Web3. That's what I want to do.
Nice. Dan, what are you most excited about in Web3 right now?
Right now, it's the bear market. It's definitely exciting in a way, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about people building more and more. I mean, I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface of what we can build with Ethereum. Ethereum is just starting out. We are building quest chains, but I think again, even quest chains is in the very nascent phase. So much we can build. Like I've been following DAO's V3. I'm very excited about DAO's V3. I think the group of builders and community there is awesome. What else? In Web3, can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. But yeah, like Bobcat said, definitely what excites me about Web3 is the people for sure. Because like I've been working in the software field for like, let's say, over 6 or 7 years now, but I've never met people so nice, so welcoming, so helpful in Web3 outside. I don't know what it is. Is it the technology, or is it just the kind of people that revolve around the technology? But everyone is so nice and welcoming, and I think that is what gets me going every day. Like working with all these awesome people, and yeah, talking to you guys, and that's definitely what excites me.
Yeah, the
We're all
people
gonna
is
make it.
so important. Yeah, we're all gonna make it together. Put the T on the end. It's really like all the best communities, whether it's Web3 or not, they thrive and survive on the people. The people create the value, the people make it a good place or a bad place to be. Community is really what it's all about. And in the builders community in Web3, yeah, I'm not sure what it is either, but there's a lot of amazing, beautiful people. And my guess is it just must be, all the people who are building in Web3, especially in the bear market, like you say, are here to change the world for the better, I believe. And you can tell, these people, everyone that we work with pretty much, it's not just a desire, it's not just a thing they want to do, it's a passion. It's like almost a moral or ethical duty they find to build these things, to have a more fair society, to have
You're giving me goosebumps, man.
yeah, man, it's really awesome. It was wonderful to be able to meet some of you all at MCon again this year. Warms my heart, man. Really. Vid, tell me, what are you most excited about in Web3?
I feel very much the same as y'all. I just feel it's the right time to be building, and I'm mainly a builder, so it feels really good to be at this time in this place. I actually, even before the bear market like really started, when stuff started dropping, it's my first year in the blockchain, so I actually got excited for the bear market to start because everyone was talking about how it's the time to build, and time where everyone really has time to make whatever they're making. And yeah, this is what we are doing now, and I'm really enjoying it. So this. Oh, by the way, we just added a new member, Tony, to the team yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm not completely sure. He's our writer, but the website is not updated yet. He's gonna write the documentation for the app and later on some articles as well. Mainly the article for how to integrate our token or the NFT that you mint from the question with guild.xyz, which Dan already tested and works like super nice. So people will be able to actually get automatic roles in Discord based on the tokens that they mint from specific questions.
Very cool. So they can kind of combine their efforts with guild.xyz. Yeah, very cool. Kind of like my first chain, you can get an NFT from completing the quest here on Quest Chains. And if you complete that quest, you have also completed a quest on Infinity Keys. So you ended up doubling up your NFTs. So connect that to Guild XYZ. Hey, do one task and look, you've piled up all of these credentials, you can call them. Yeah, it's very cool. To kind of wrap things up, does anyone have anything they want to talk about or mention, or any shout outs you want to give?
Well, shout out to the whole team that kept on building. Thank you very much. I really enjoy working with everyone. And shout out to Metagame, who is the mother of this DAO. Shout out to Peace and Misant giving us feedback and believed in us and still believe. Shout out to my mother and my dad. No, I'm joking. But yeah, thank you everyone.
I feel like we'd covered everyone, but yeah, I want to especially mention my our team. I think you know me and Vid, of course, and we have Parv, who's a solid developer, and Dave, who's been with us right after our hackathon. He joined us, and he's been with us since, and we couldn't have done it without him. He's a boss. Yeah, like Dave is Dave. Like he's amazing, and of course Betty. Betty has been there from the start. So yeah, we have an amazing team. It's so much fun working with us, all of these guys. Like, yeah, just like I said, it's the people that make us want to work every day and want to come, show up. Shout out to.
Yeah, super awesome team. And like you all have already said, really amazing people, really sweet people. I encourage everyone, get on questchains.xyz, check it out. It's so much fun. Start your own quest, for yourself, for your community, for your product, whatever it is. Have fun with it, get creative, and talk to us. Come find us and talk to us. We'll make sure that all of our social medias and our website connections and links are all in the description here. Come out to Metagame, come out to Chain Quest, check these things out, or Quest Chains, excuse me. I always flip-flop things. And I just want to say thank you, Vid, DanRam, Bobcat. Thank you for not only coming onto the podcast, but just thank you for building what you're building. Thank you for being the people that you are and being real, being here during the bear market, not chasing money.
Thank you, Musashi. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Bobcat.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
It's been an honor.
Thank y'all for joining us. Really enjoyed it.
And before we head out, just one last shout out, and that's to our IRL bogey. He might have just popped on the screen for us. That's our tech shaman. None of this happens without him. Just like Quest Change doesn't happen without these awesome teams. These podcasts don't get to you without an amazing tech shaman in the background doing things that most of us can't do. We love you. We thank you. That's a wrap for 24/7 420.